All right, ladies and gentlemen, there's and them's children of all ages gather around because it's time to get down to the beat down. Let's go. This is the Logan Summit Show. I am, of course, your host, Logan Summit, and you are not. We have to get to the fighters once again. We're also doing another interview today, and we're going to talk NFL draft. But first, it's time to get down to that MMA fight beatdown, baby. And it's brought to you by Newer. Go over to newer.com and use code Logan. You're going to save 20% off all of your pro gear at amateur pricing. And yes, can you find the link in the About section? Yes, you can. All right, let's get to it. All right, we have a fighter making his debut at 170 pounds, but he's a tall man. He can reach the high stuff in the kitchen. He's 6'4", and he's fighting out of Michigan, Reed City to be exact. His name is Hunter FAGAN-MOYER. How you doing today, Hunter?
Good. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing absolutely fantastic. Hey, do you have a nickname by any chance? Has anybody given you a nickname yet?
No, not yet.
All right. If you were Shaquille O'Neal and you could pick your own nickname, what would you pick for yourself?
I'd say probably like Hitman or something, man. Like I got that reach. I could reach guys from a distance. They don't see that shot coming. I sit on my right a lot.
All right, the Hitman, just like Bret the Hitman Hart. I love that. Hey,
Yeah.
He was one of your woodsy neighbors to the north, not too far away from where you are in Michigan. How is Reed City, Michigan treating you?
It's treated me really well. I had a pretty good wrestling career. The community supported me a lot. They helped fund me to go to nationals last year. Um,
That's awesome, man. And when did you start your wrestling career? Because, I was into professional wrestling as a kid, and my mom hated that. So she took me to the YMCA and signed me up for a wrestling class. I think I was in like either second or fourth grade. I'm not exactly sure. But, that's how I started wrestling. How did you get into wrestling and when?
so my dad wrestled for a long time, and then my sixth grade year, I decided I was going to give it a shot, and I really just fell in love with it. I fell in love with the scrap.
Yeah, well, wrestling has proven to be a wonderful base for a lot of MMA fighters. And as you are getting into your MMA career, like I mentioned, you're making your debut on June 14th, Battle of the Bay. It's part of the two-piece promotions, and I believe it's number 4. There you go. And it will be happening on June 14th. You'll be able to check it out right here on millions.co. You'll be fighting James Harrington, who in his picture looks like a young Rocky. I'm not going to say Rocky Balboa, maybe Rocky Marciano, but he looks like he was taken out of the pictures of a boxing promoter's thing from like 1946. What do you know about James Harrington?
He is 2-0 in Muay Thai. I was told by my coach I have a little bit of reach on him. If he wants to stand there and strike, I'm completely happy with that. I used to box. I have a really good boxing base. I can reach him with that jab. If he can reach me with them elbows, I'm ready for that. He wrestled in school for Kent County a little bit. He was pretty high level, but like I said, I've wrestled for a long time. I've been to states. I've placed at the state tournament. I'm a 2-time qualifier for nationals. Rounds of 32, round of 64. I beat some pretty big names. If he wants to wrestle, we can wrestle. Whatever he wants to throw at me, I'm all right with.
Now, how have you been able to incorporate your wrestling background into a true MMA BJJ fighting stance? Obviously, it creates a good base for you, but have you really been able to work all of those submissions and all of that ground game in? Because it's a little bit different because you're always taught don't be on your back. But now, some things are just a touch.
It works great for me. I can work my boxing into the inside, get to that wrestling game. I was really good at Greco. Greco was probably my strong suit in wrestling. Those Muay Thai guys, especially like James, they like to clinch up. They like to get inside. They like to get dirty. I can toss you from there. I like that. And incorporating it into jiu-jitsu was great because that side control, that top mount, it's really easy just for me to dominate a guy there. Keep a guy there. I got long legs. I get my hooks in. Especially you get a guy that to give ups or giving his back. That's where I'm comfortable. I can throw in that cross body ride. I can throw in those boots. I can ride you out all day long. That's where I'm comfortable. It's where I like to be. If you want to take it to the ground, I'm perfectly okay there. My wrestling, especially my scrambling, helps me a lot in those jiu-jitsu situations, like my whip overs, my whizzers. You want to get funky, I can get funky. I It really has translated for me well, and I'm excited to see what I can do with it.
Oh man, you may have just given yourself a nickname. Hold on one second. Let's try this out. Hunter Fagan Funky Moyer. I mean, maybe we put the funky in front of the Fagan, but I don't know, man. I'm just saying, if you want to get funky, that's your guy.
I
I
like
want to
it.
make a t-shirt, bro. I want to make a t-shirt. Hunter Funky Fagan Moyer. I think the funky has to come before the Fagan, but hey, I'm just saying that could be a good nickname for you. Let's go back to the Greco wrestling though, because Greco is all about core strength. It is a burst of speed and boom, your shoulders, bam! Oh, it's over. That's all. It is all they created. So I can see a lot of those Muay Thai people be psyched to be in a clinch with you, not realizing that at that moment you're looking for the underhooks, you're making your moves, and then you're just going to pop, drop, move, and it's all going to be over. Have you been able to catch a lot of these kickboxer Muay Thai fighters in that clinch and been able to destroy their thought process of what a clinch should be?
100%. You get a lot of those Muay Thai guys. They're sitting there trying to fight for head position, fight for their hooks. A lot of them really like to be in that over under to work their knees, and that's when you just step out, you curl hop, you get that body lock, you could just take it straight over. Um, they like to like try to beat on your head. They like to pressure forward, and then with that Greco-Roman, as soon as you get that pressure forward, that's when your toss is there. Um, I just like it. Like it's where I'm strong at.
I believe the Don Fry had a big career in Greco-Roma before he decided to get into Pride and all of the other MMA things that he did. And it worked out well for him. I mean, you might need to grow a stronger mustache like me and Don, but that's okay. We can work on that as you get older. You'll have time. Now, have you had a chance to fight for two-piece promotions before in your amateur career as you were getting up to this? I know you're making your debut amateur, all that, but I'm sure you've gotten into the ring prior to this and done a little this and that, right?
Yeah, I've done a little bit of boxing. I never had fought for a two piece before. I just turned 18 in November, actually. So I've been looking to make my debut for a minute. I've been training for about 2 years, but the whole Michigan law, you can't fight till you're 18 kind of thing. So I just been training. I've been waiting for a debut like this, and now the time's finally come.
Now, how do you feel about that law? Because most boxing regulatory leagues will let you turn pro at 15. How do you feel about Michigan saying you can't get into the ring until you're 18 as an MMA fighter?
I think it's definitely like I don't think you should be 18 or need to be 18, because a lot of kids spend their whole life training, boxing, wrestling, all that their whole life. And then you have to wait till you're 18 to make it applicable when you don't really know how that moment feels. Like, I know when I went to nationals for the first time for wrestling, I wrestled on the big stage and it was like, what is going on?
Yeah.
So I definitely feel like that's something that needs to be experienced throughout time before you can get into your amateur professional debuts making a big fight like this.
Now, being able to go to nationals for wrestling and be under these big lights and on the big stage, do you think that's going to help you? That experience will help you in not getting over anxious and doing the adrenaline dump as a lot of fighters experience at your first debut coming up on June 14th?
Yeah, 100%. That kind of setting, like, it was always that way with me with wrestling, like going down to the state tournament. The bigger the stage, the more I want to perform. Makes me kind of excited, makes me more hungry in the situation. It's not just like a normal wrestling match at a school or a competition. It's like I'm in front of all these people I love, all these people I know, my family, friends, and I get to show them what I know. And that situation is just huge for me. I relish in it.
Well, you're going to have another opportunity to do the same thing with Battle on the Bay on June 14th, part of the two-piece promotions available right here on millions.co. All right, here's your chance right now to make a prediction. What's going to happen? I know every fighter says you never go into a fight looking to lose. So how do you win this? When is it going to be? And how is it going to happen?
I definitely see him coming at me strong. I watched a little bit of his Muay Thai film. He's really a big power puncher, a little shorter than me. I definitely see him coming at me looking for those big shots off the get-go, looking for that clinch. Um, I would say I'm gonna catch him coming in probably round 2, halfway through round 2. I'm gonna catch him coming in. He's gonna look for that big shot. He's not gonna know when I hit him. He's gonna miss, and the one time he misses is when I'm gonna make my shot. I really depend on my accuracy, my length, my speed, my shots. My boxing is very well. I'll sit there, tap you with a jab for 2 rounds. I just look for my one shot. I'll sit on it. And if that's what he wants to do, if he wants to play that striking game, we can strike. If he tries to wrestle with me, we'll probably end up going to the distance. He's a pretty good wrestler in school. If he tries to take it to the ground, we have about probably the same amount of time doing jujitsu. If
Okay.
he wants to take it to the ground, we're probably going to scramble, probably going to scrap a little bit. I see that going to a decision, but definitely unanimous. I come out on top either way on this fight.
All right, we like that. Now, you said he's going to come out gunning for you. Are you going to look to use the jab to keep him at length and just let him gas out and see what he has in the tank in round 2 or later in round 1? Are you just gonna let them dictate the beginning of the fight and see what happens, and then just take it to him afterwards?
Yeah, I really like to feel my opponent out before I start to get crazy. It's always been that way with boxing. Like when I boxed growing up, I never was coming into the first round guns a blazing. I was always tapping. I was always moving my head. I was looking for my shot. I was picking my punches until I really found out what a guy likes to do, and then I could just sit there and snipe him from my range. You can't touch me from your range, then I'm gonna be able to touch you from mine. That's how I like to fight. I'm gonna keep him at bay with my jabs, with my teeps. If he can't reach me, I mean, he can't hit me. That's
No.
really
Yeah, absolutely. If he can't reach you, he can't hit you. You're not wrong right there. That's good stuff, man. And going back to the jab, we always say here at the Logan Summit Show, the jab is the most important punch in all of combat sports because it sets up everything else that you need to do. And I gotta let you know, I'm gonna be dropping some merch that has to do with the jab coming up. I try to create fighters merch. We have the "Everyone Loves a Good Fight," which is the way I sign off every fighter interview. We've got that up there for you, and we're gonna drop one more out there. Sorry, self plug, had to do it. I got merch dropping, baby. I gotta sell that stuff. Somebody's got to put a roof over my head and food in my belly. All right. Now, this is the opportunity, Hunter, for you to talk about whatever you want to talk about. You can thank your team. You can thank your parents. You can talk about your favorite new video game. You can talk about the sponsors you have, the sponsors you'd like to have. Hell, you can talk about a good meal you had last week. I don't care. It's their time up there. It's your time down here. Go ahead. This is your time.
I definitely like to thank Kuhn MMA. That's where I train mostly out of Big Rapids. Chad was a really good wrestler for Reed City, and he transitioned to fighting. And he opened up that gym, and I've been training there for a minute. I really like the work we get in there, the rounds we get in there. I'd also like to thank like Mike Lackney. He's was my wrestling coach for the longest time. He still to this day will text me, be like, "Yo, let's go hit this tournament up this weekend," and we go wrestle. We get it done. Um, those have definitely been two of my biggest influences in the fighting world, and I really appreciate that. Um, that's yeah.
All right. So here, let's play a game. All right.
All right.
So it's after the fight. It's the next day. You've won. And you get to do whatever you want for that day. What are you eating? What are you doing? Who are you seeing? What do you do on your true day off? Your
Oh,
reward day, as we like to call it around here at the Logan Summit Show.
I'm definitely calling out my buddies, and we're gonna chill. We're gonna relax. We're gonna play some Xbox. We're gonna hang out. We're gonna talk about the fight. Um, I love those guys. Zach, Anthony, Jonas, Miles, Henry, Ethan, all them guys. Like they're my brothers. We grew up together. We do everything together. They're all coming to watch the fight. They all got their tickets. They're all ringside. Like it's definitely going to be a lot of thanks to those guys for supporting me as much as they do, because I would not be able to get as far as I have without their support.
That's awesome. We always say around here, it takes a village to build a fighter. At the end of the day, you're the only one in the ring, but it takes a lot of support around you to get you to that point. Now let's go back to Xbox before we move on here. What game are you playing right now, and what's your favorite video game of all time?
Ooh, I've been playing COD a lot and For
Yeah.
Honor, but
Hold on a
I would
second. Are you
def
getting Dancy and Verdansky now that Verdansk is back? Because it's great. I love it again.
Yeah, I miss Verdansk a lot, actually. Like, I'm glad that they brought it back.
And I'm also glad that they brought it back the exact same. One of my friends is one of the best players in the entire world for Warzone. His name's Unrational. He came in second place at the World Series of COD. And I saw him the other day and I was like, bro, how great is it that Verdansk is back and it's the exact same game that it was before? And he goes, yeah, I know. It's the exact same game. What the And I'm like, bro, I didn't want them to change it. I literally just keep it the same. You had it right the first time. And I'm super glad that they've done that. And as much as I like Star Wars right now, I mean, I've always loved Star Wars, but right now, Fortnite is just dismal. It's just hard to play right now. It's kind of like COD was a little while ago when I had to put it down because it got so frustrating for a while. But Verdansk is back and again there. Now, let's go to the second question. What's your favorite game of all time?
Favorite game of all time? I'd probably have to go with Modern Warfare 2, the original.
Yes. Mm. How old were you when that came out? I don't even want to play this game.
Not very old, like
Yeah.
probably 8.
No, God! No,
Yeah.
God, please, no!
I may have been in my 20s.
No!
I may have been in my mid 20s, actually, to be quite honest with you. Look, Modern Warfare 2 was the first time that I looked at a game and went, oh, this is what multiplayer is. This is how we do this. Oh, okay, this is cool. So I completely understand. That game changed a lot of gaming and the way we were doing things in the past and moved it forward. So that game was definitely influential in many different facets, besides being one heck of a great game. All right. Now we're getting to the game show part of this, Hunter. I'm sure you've heard about it because all the kids are talking about it on the streets and the playgrounds. The adults are standing around the water coolers talking about it at work. Let's get to it. It's time to play 5 Questions. And as always, 5 Questions is brought to you by Newhouse. Go over to newhouse.com. If you need office decor, home decor, a really comfortable place to put your butt, go over to newhouse.com. Use code Logan Radio Rocks, and you will save that money. Yeah, a little bit of that do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. And yes, you can find the link to that in the About section right here. All right, without further ado, it's time for Hunter Fagan Funky Moyer. Had to put a pause on there for you. All right. Let's get to it. By the way, you will be getting to it at the Battle of the Bay on June 14th, part of Two Piece Promotions right here on Millions.co. They will be making their debut against James Farrington. So go check that out. You do not want to miss my main man Hunter getting his first win and making James use his tears to salt his fiery Cheetos while he asks his mama, where did it all go wrong? Well, look at the fight tape and you'll be able to figure it out. All right, question number 1. They say it is. They say it is, but we've seen some fighters like Ben Askren not be able to fulfill really their legacy, as we were told he was going to be one of the greatest to ever enter the cage because of his strong wrestling background. But is wrestling the true base of MMA?
I would say probably yes. I mean, you look at guys like all those Dagestanis, Khabib, Islam, those guys just dominate. Umar, they just destroy the UFC, and it's just control. A lot of wrestling is about controlling your opponent. And if you can control your opponent and you could put him where he doesn't want to be, then he can't really do anything about it.
Yes, make them uncomfortable continually and always. Mark Coleman's got a buyout pick coming out where, yeah, The Rock, Dwayne The Rock Johnson is playing Mark Coleman. Did you hear about this yet?
I did not hear about that.
Oh, well, yeah, guess what? And check this out. Mark Coleman once, dude was in full guard against him, and Mark Coleman just used a neck crank to cut off his breathing. And this is back when the UFC, was in a neophyte stage, because all that dude needed to do was open up his guard and he would have been fine. But he didn't do that. He kept a closed guard and ended up tapping from a neck crank. And that is still one of my favorite submissions of all time, because it was just like, Did you just make that dude so uncomfortable that he tapped? Because he was in no mortal danger. He was, I mean, he could still kind of breathe, uh,
Yeah.
but he was just so uncomfortable. Mark Coleman probably growled in his ear, and the dude was like, "All right, I'm done, bro. I'm done." But I get it. Wrestling as a base, control, being able to exude your will upon another opponent. That's all part of the wrestling game. And I do agree with you that wrestling is an excellent base. All right, question number 2. You're from Michigan. Let's talk about which would you rather go to watch? Who are you a bigger fan of? Pistons, Red Wings, and Lions.
I grew up watching a lot of hockey, so I'd probably have to say the Red Wings.
Yeah, kind of sad they're not in the playoffs.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, what a historic hockey team you grew up with over there. One of the first teams in the NHL, obviously the Elite Eight there, and getting it done. But who was your favorite player growing up?
Steve Eiserman.
Yeah, heck yeah, Steve Eiserman. Oh, so I get that, but there's a little fast guy that was around at the same time who might have something to say with the long hair. Anyways, we'll move on. Question number 2, question number 3 kind of goes back to number 2. Notice how I didn't mention the Lions in that. No one mentions the Lions. Do you guys still have a baseball team up there?
I don't even know. I don't really follow baseball like that.
I'm not even sure. Last time I checked, Sparky Anderson was their manager, and that was in the late 80s. I'm not sure you guys even have a team anymore. But I just wanted to say, what about the Tigers? I mean, what about them? No, and you just proved it. Yeah, like anybody in your family actively follow the Tigers?
No?
Wow. All right. I'm going to buy your whole family tickets to a Tigers game. Judging by the attendance, it should cost about $24, and that'll be with beers and hot dogs. So we'll get you out to a game. All right. All right. Question number 4. Do you learn by watching or doing?
Definitely doing. Wrestling, like, it's very complicated. There's a lot of different ways to do things. And sometimes you even just got to figure your own way out. So definitely practicing things, doing things, being active with those things makes you learn a lot better because everyone has their own way to do things in fighting, grappling, in my opinion.
Yeah, a lot of fighters go to YouTube when they're first starting out, just to look at things, and maybe you're hanging out in the backyard with your friends, just doing MMA stuff. That is an actual thing, by the way. If you're not doing it, somebody else is. Trust me. Um, but do you go on YouTube and check things out, or do you just go into the gym and go, "Hey, I want to learn the Darce choke today," or whatever?
Well, I definitely watch some higher level guys and some breakdowns of them. Like Conor McGregor striking, obviously beautiful. Nate Diaz's jujitsu, like
Mhm.
watching things like that, you could definitely see and learn, but you can't make those things applicable until you practice them. So it's a little bit of both. But
Yeah, no, I get that. I think it would be watching then doing, but you can't just watch or just do. I think
yeah,
you need some guidance, and wherever you get that guidance is up to you. Like you said, people have different ways of doing, and they also have different ways of learning. So that's where we go. All right, question number 5. Get into the time machine. It's 10 years in the future. Where are you? What are you doing?
I'm definitely still fighting. 10 years down the future, I look to, after this debut, I look to keep fighting. I look to go win 6 fights in a row, make my pro debut. Um, I definitely just want to keep fighting. I want to make money fighting. It has been my dream for as long as I can remember. Since I first put on a boxing glove or stepped on a wrestling mat, it's like, I want to do this for the rest of my life. Um, Obviously, there's retirement. Obviously, I'm gonna get too old to fight. But 10 years from now, I'm still going to be fighting. I would have made my pro debut by now. And hopefully, I get that call from Dana White, Contender Series. Like, that's the plan.
They're over in like Pay or something for it. Justin Bernard's over there doing it. By the way, congratulations to my good friend Justin Bernard, who has spent 14 years on UFC Fight Pass primarily with Tough Enough, and has now gotten the call up, and he's helping host the Contender Series with Dana and all of that. So that's really exciting stuff, and I hope that you get that call and Dana says, "You're moving on up to the east side. You finally got a piece of the pie." Yeah, I hope that happens to you. All right, Hunter Funky FAGAN-MOYER. Yeah, that's good. Hunter Funky FAGAN-MOYER. Or just FAGAN-MOYER, depending on if you're into the whole brevity thing or not. We'll be fighting June 14th, Battle of the Bay on Two Piece Promotions, fighting against James Harrington. And you will be making your debut. Let's hope you go Wu-Tang style, because Wu-Tang ain't nothing to mess with, and you get that W. We'll all be watching and checking it out. I appreciate you being here, Hunter.
I appreciate you for having me, man.
Hey, not a problem, my friend. And I appreciate you being here as well. Stick around a little bit later. We're going to talk NFL draft with the NFL Diamond. Hold on. It's the draft diamonds, the NFL draft diamonds. We got that coming up in just a little bit for you. So sit tight. We'll talk some football in just a bit. But do me a favor until then. Be good to yourself. Be kind to others. Pay it forward, play it forward. Rock like a party star. Party like a rock star. Smile strong, laugh loud. Last but not least, please like, follow, and subscribe so you'll know when I'm up to it doing the interview thing once again. And if you want to check out Newer or New House and get yourself some good gear and save yourself some cash, you can find those links right down below in the About section of whatever platform you're watching this on. All right, everybody. We'll see you again real soon. And don't forget, everyone loves a good fight. We'll see you next time. Thanks, Hunter.
Yeah, no problem.